Hey everyone, it's Jen with Pretty Little Garden. I am in the garden today and I'm continuing with doing things for fall cleanup as well as tulips. I did purchase tulips and I'm late. I'm not planting them in pots this year. I'm going to plant my tulips in the ground. And I'm in Zone 6B, Western New York. I am a little on the late side, but I'm aware of that. So my ground is not yet frozen. It's still workable soil. That's key when you're planting your tulips. Ideal for my zone is mid-October, all the way through maybe like early November. And after that time, you really risk, your tulips blooming well because the roots don't have a ton of time to be established. I do have some bulb tone that I can use to help establish those roots. And my goal today is just to get my tulips in the ground. I have a few different varieties that I'd like to share with you. And let's get going. Come on, let's get those tulips in the ground. Okay, these were delivered actually last week from Longfield Gardens. And like I said, I'm a little bit late. Whoops, Lucy is out here joining us. Hi, Lou. But I never let that stop me, really. If I'm late with doing something, so be it. Sometimes that's just the way I have to learn. Okay, so tulips. Let's categorize our tulips. Lucy, can you step over here, please? Okay. I know I got some muscari. I'm going to put the muscari aside for now. I have to look up how to plant that. These are all muscari. Oh my goodness, I got a lot of muscari. I think I got a bunch of different kinds. Oh my goodness, look at these bulbs are already, some of them are already not looking good. Ugh. Okay, so I purchased my tulips last week. They came in last week, but then I was away for the weekend. So I did open them immediately though and followed the instructions. So they were open. I opened the box up and they had the holes. That's what it said to keep them in the box, but with the box open. I'm just noticing these here are all moldy. And those are the Tulip Triumph Infinity. So I'm going to have to contact Longfield about that because I did follow the instructions. They were just delivered, I think it was last Thursday. And, I followed the instructions immediately. So I'll have to contact them about those. I did buy several muscari and I've never done muscari before. So I'll have to look up how to do that. What else did I get? These are tulip fringed azumi. There's 10 of those and they're pink. So that'll be cute. These are the pink impression. 75 of those. I really like those. I got those the last couple of years. I really like that tulip a lot. I think they do well. And I got 2 bags actually of the pink impression. So these are both Tulip Darwin hybrid pink impression. With purchase, I did get some paper whites. So I'll probably plant those up inside. And I also got Tulip Darwin hybrid Oxford. There's 20 of those. So got Tulip Darwin hybrid Oxford, another package of those. So I have 2 of the Oxford type. So I think I'm going to start in my side cottage garden with the pink impressions. I'm in my side cottage garden and I think I'm going to put several clumps of pink impression in the front of this bed here. I decided that I'd like to do clumps. I think it looks nice and natural rather than, tulips planted in a row. So I need to dig a hole that is like 12 to 18. I'm just stepping in with a voiceover here because the wind got pretty intense. And what I'm saying is that I'm just going to be digging some holes that are 12 to 18 inches in length and about 6 to 8 inches deep. I just take a look at one of the tulip bulbs here. This is what a tulip bulb looks like. And a reminder that the pointy side faces up and the flat side is what faces down against the surface of the soil. And if you have a tulip bulb, this one looks to be like 2 inches or so, you want to plant that 2 to 3 times the size of your bulb. So it turns out to be about 6 to 8 inches that you want to go deep. And again, the pink impression tulips, they grow about 20 inches in height. And I think they'll look good in my cottage garden bed. I also have some bulb tone here that I'm going to be using when planting today. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit in the bottom of my planting hole. I think it's a good idea, especially because I'm planting so late. It's a good idea because it'll help the bulbs get their roots established before winter's in full effect. Okay, here's my first hole, and I'm just using my Hori Hori knife, which has a 6-inch measurement on it. I can link this in the description, but it's a handy garden tool, the Hori Hori knife. And I'm just kind of putting it right at the bottom of the hole. I can see here is the 6-inch mark, 7, 8 inches is probably right here. I think that's just about right. And then 12 to 18 inches across. I'm about halfway and about halfway. I think that's good. I'm going to put about 9 bulbs in this first bed. Just put a little bit of bulb tone in there. And just mix it up. And we'll start putting our tulips in. And again, just a reminder, you want the pointy side planted up and the flat side, right on the surface of the soil there. So I'm just going to start in the middle and work my way around. I always have hopes to be a little more timely with my tulips. And I never am, just the last few years, I don't know. Sometimes I just, I'm enjoying so much the garden the way it is that you're not ready to change things for the season or do things like this. But I realize that I have to really try and do better. I know last year I planted tulips in containers and, they didn't look the greatest for me last year. And I thought it was because I didn't water them at all. But let's see how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Maybe I'll put there's 10 in there. How does that look? Pretty good? Okay. I thought my tulips weren't doing well because I didn't water them much during the winter. But I was, reflecting on it today as I was, reminding myself and reading up on how to plant my tulips. And I almost feel like I remember last year my soil was frozen in my pots and I had to de-thaw it before I planted the tulips. That could have been hard for the tulips to really get established in the pot, is what I was thinking too, so you learn something every year, good or bad. You learn that sometimes you might have done something really good, other times you may have fudged it up a little bit, but the only way you're going to learn is to keep trying. So I will keep on showing you what I'm doing. Oh, look, there's a root here from this is from the euonymus here. I'm just going to yank that. All right, so just guesstimating about 12 to 18 inches. I'm going to dig my next hole. So I'm going to go right about here. I just purchased this shovel recently, and I love it. It's called the Spearhead Spade. And it was one of those times, did you ever wake up early in the morning or wake up in the middle of the night and you can't sleep and you start kind of like scrolling. That's what I was doing. I was scrolling on my phone and I caught an advertisement for this tool. And I have been really struggling with digging my holes lately just with my shovel. I had an injury, not really an injury, but I had hurt my hip a little bit this past year, and I found it difficult to dig my holes. And I saw this tool advertised, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a try. I have loved this Spade type shovel. I'll link it in the description box if anybody's interested. But yeah, it's called the Spearhead Spade. Comes in different colors too. I just chose the purple.
I'm going to put just about 10 in this one as well.
I planted about 6 or 7 clumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 clumps going all the way to the fence of the Tulip Darwin hybrid pink impression. So I think that'll look really pretty. And this is my hat here. It's getting warm, so I took off my hat, but it's super windy. Just put it over here for right now. I'm going to come over here and grab my library. And just coming in with another voiceover as the wind picked up again. I'm just telling you that I'm going to plant another little clump of tulips right on this curve here at the front of my cottage garden. It's the pink fringed tulip, really sweet, and I think they'll look really cute in the front of this cottage garden bed. Now I am in the front of my house and I'm going to continue along this garden bed here with my Darwin hybrid pink impressions. I have another bag here. I did plant all of the 75, the other bag in my side cottage garden. I think what I'm going to do with these, I'm going to start here and just do the clumps again, about 5 to 9 tulips per clump. I've been doing about 9 or so, 9 to 10 actually. I'll start here, I'll put a clump here, and then just go in between, put a clump here, a clump here, a clump here, a clump here, and a clump there. So it'll give a nice little swoop of tulips. And what's nice is that the tulips will be blooming in the springtime, and the daylilies start to emerge, but they're not bloomed until, kind of like early summer. So the tulips will be finishing as the daylilies are starting up. Same thing with the Junior Walker catmint. So I think that'll be really pretty, and I could probably tuck some along the side there. I have a little spot right there. I can tuck some more there, and probably some more right over here as well. I'm going to keep moving. Okay, here is where I planted the different clusters of pink impression, just right in between each Nepeta and daylily. And just step through here and planted another cluster here. And yeah, things are getting cleaned up. I was so disappointed. This is my little solar powered owl. I love this little guy. As long as he's in the sunlight, he will turn on his solar lights at night. Well, I had two of them and I kicked the other one over and it fell to the ground and cracked and dropped and his little arm broke off. But I love these. I'll link them in the description box. You just have to put them in a safe spot and be sure you're not, knocking them over where they'll drop to the ground. So, but I thought to myself, they had different animals. So I think I might order, a different animal. So instead of having the two owls, I'll have maybe an owl and a bunny or an owl and, whatever else they had. I have to look online. I got them on Amazon and see. Thanks for watching today as I planted up my tulips. I will see everyone very soon in my next video. Have a great day.